So just want to recap my trading day, my thought process, and what I can do better. So let's get into it. Today is the first day of my XFA account. The MLO is still 4,500. Um, so what I can see here is the daily chart. Price had a strong impulse move down, retraced back into the 21 SMA, and now it's getting rejected. Um, so yesterday closed pretty bearish. It tried to eat into this bearish engulfing candle, but it ended up closing bearish. So coming into the day, I was just looking at low-hanging fruit targets, which is just PDL right here and the gap fill, right? Those are easy targets for me. Um, then moving down to the 4-hour chart, there was the 4-hour candle low here and also another sell side liquidity here, though that was a lot farther away and I wasn't really targeting that. Um, in terms of news, there was PCE at 7:30, so I'm in Central Time. So in Eastern Time, it would be 8:30. But yeah, so I'm gonna be referring to times in Central Time. Um, yeah, there was PCE data, and the PCE data came out pretty bearish. So it came out inflation hotter than expected, which is bad for the markets because that means that it's much harder for the Fed to lower rates in the May and June cycles because of inflation. And so they can't really focus on jobs, a weak jobs market when inflation is still hot. So they can't really lower rates. And so generally that is perceived as pretty bad, and so I had a bearish bias coming in to the day after I heard that news. Um, and also, like a lot of the Mag 7 stocks and hot stocks, they had a pretty bearish chart as well. Like, for example, Nvidia was looking to reject off of this 21 SMA after making a lower high. Um, Apple at the 21 SMA, though it's not as bearish. Meta definitely one of the more bearish ones. Amazon, Google was very bearish coming into the day. Microsoft, Tesla not as much because Tesla and Palantir were kind of like retail recovery stocks. So a lot of people were buying the dip. So, but still, I was expecting some rejection after this 21 SMA move after such a strong bearish impulse down. Um, yeah. So that's why I was expecting some bearish continuation because a lot of the Mag 7 stocks, the hot tech stocks, were looking pretty bearish on the daily chart. And yeah, so let's get more granular. Let's put up some of my. All right. So coming into the day, um, I saw that Asia range was completely engulfed by London range. So when London session takes the highs and the lows of Asia session, I usually kind of consider that as high resistance liquidity run conditions. So I wasn't really expecting such a crazy move. And today is a Friday as well. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, today is a Friday and there's potentially high resistance liquidity run conditions. So I'm not really expecting any crazy moves. Kind of expecting a lot of chop. Um, I saw that there was a breaker block here. No, a potential breaker block here because this order block after this impulse move down got uh, filled with this busy. So it's a potential breaker block, but I was expecting it to get filled because my overall bearish for the day, bias for the day was bearish. Um, so let's see. Uh, so news, when did news come out for 7:30 is here. So this was the 7:30 news. Um, and honestly, coming into the day, if you just look at this part, it was pretty weird. Um, like news came down, didn't really take any liquidity. Yeah, it took this liquidity here, but it didn't take London lows. And then it just took this internal liquidity here. And then after market open, it just came down and took sell side liquidity. So in my mind, I was like, okay, today is definitely high resistance liquidity run conditions because it's like going back and forth, and it's a Friday. So I'm like, man, I should pretty like, try to be careful here. Um, Try not to, go for any like ambitious targets, try to get some low-hanging fruit. So I was looking for some downside targets I could potentially get into this BPR and order block coming into the New York AM session. So I zoomed out here. So this was it's actually on the 4 hour. Yeah, so there's a 4 hour low here, and a 4 hour low here. And this also kind of um, coincides with the 1 hour low, I believe. Yeah, it does. So that was the kind of the low hanging fruit that I was looking for, where I would try to catch a trade from this order block in taking this 4 hour sell side liquidity and with the stop around like these relative highs. Um, yeah, yeah. Um, so let's look into my executions. Executions were not the best, I cannot lie. Yep. All right, so let's go through every single trade. So this trade right here was like at 6:30. I don't know what I was doing. Was like up at 6:30, and basically I just wanted to, catch like a quick and easy trade. I saw that this we were talking about this before, like this potential breaker block. I thought it was gonna fail. So I was just looking for, where is it? Yeah, I was just seeing this. I thought this breaker block was going to be fake, right? So I was looking for a retracement after this market structure shift, kind of on the lower time frame. This was I would consider this a market structure shift. I wanted to see a retracement back in to these fair value gaps so I could short, and I was just simply targeting these lows. So that's what was happened, and I just took just like a low hanging fruit profit because I wasn't really expecting the market to completely fall out from here, especially considering there was news at 7:30 just in an hour. So I just wanted this quick and easy trade. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, usually I wouldn't take this type of trade, just because, it's like not news yet, and like it's not used in my trading time. But it just kind of looks so clean that I just like felt like I should at least try it. And like the risk was relatively low, like from here to here, like was like, 15 points. It was not that much risk. So yeah, I thought it was worth it, relative to the reward. Yeah. And so the second trade was here. So basically, um, after this move lower and taking the sell side liquidity, I wanted to see price retrace up just a little bit so I could try to catch this continuation move lower. But as you can see, that's not what happened. So price made a bearish wick here, but I was expecting this to get ran through, and then if it reversed lower, I was going to enter, right? So after this candle ran through and then made a, kind of like a doji candle, I entered in short, but then I got stopped out 2 minutes later, um, above this high. Yeah. So I didn't take the first short entry, I took the second, but it turns out the second one wasn't correct either. But then once it, made its way into this 15-minute order block, hit the consequent encroachment and Asia lows, it made this rejection here. I was almost pretty sure that it wanted to make a move lower, right? So usually I try to enter in like join ask or join bid instead of buying the market price, um, or selling the market price. And so that's what I did, right? But I didn't get a fill, so I clicked it again, and then I got filled twice. So I was in two contracts, and that's like, way out of my risk parameters as of right now. It's like my first day. I don't really want to trade two full um, contracts as of right now. So I tried to, as soon as I realized that I was in two, I tried to exit one, right? Just to be at one. But then like the close, like the join bid button is like right under the close position. So I closed two on accident here. So I was like, oh shit. And then so I tried to get back in one and and so I got back in one here and I don't know, it's just a shit show. Like I should have been much more careful, shouldn't be as nervous with these trades and like clicking the wrong buttons, right? So this area could definitely be improved. Um, but yeah, um, just entering here, targeting these lows with a stop above the highs. This, I would say it's like around a 2 to 1 um, risk to reward. And yeah, so at this point here, like this was 850 macro just starting. I was um, like damn, am I really about to get stopped out? Like after like all this mishap? Because I mean, I still thought that the trade was still valid, right? I was looking, so at 9 a.m. I was looking for the 4 hour and 1 hour candle to wick green, and then I would try to enter the green wick, enter into the green wick, and ride the move lower, right? So yeah, I just kind of rode the move lower. I think the best ideal entry would have been right here. There was a displacement. Um, displacement below this swing low with yeah, and then a retracement back into the swing low and the fair value gap. So that would have been the best entry. And yeah, so I got taken out for a profit here. I like to put my targets right above the higher time frame sell side liquidity just because sometimes it might want to do um, like a relative equal low or relative equal high and just fucking reverse. And that would piss me off, right? I don't want to be like so close to my profit target and just like get relative equal high, you know? So I put it a little bit above and so I got filled here and then the market retraced and it continued a lot lower all the way down to this 4 hour sell side liquidity. So in terms of trade idea and trade, well, in terms of trade idea, I thought my idea was pretty good and it turned out to be correct. In terms of execution, though, I have a lot to work on. I shouldn't be doing all this. The first trade I had where I took a stop, I think that was perfectly fine. The second trade where I was, I accidentally got into two, then I accidentally closed my entire position, and then I got back in. This is where I need to focus on, where I could, work on. Um, and like the entire trade, I would say it was a pretty good execution. The only thing that I want to like focus on is how do I catch this type of move, right? Because I caught the move from here to here, which was 70 points, but how do I get this entire move? That's, where I'm pretty conflicted. Um, like the thesis, like it was a Friday, um, high resistance liquidity run conditions. I was really just targeting, low hanging fruit, which was London lows, 4 hour sell side liquidity. Wasn't really targeting like this entire move lower. So I'm not sure what I could have done better. Although I did think that these trades had a lot of room to run because like Mag 7 just looks so bearish, especially Google. Google was completely dropping out. Um, and Google had a really nice target here. So I was like, this had a lot of potential to continue going lower. But yeah, let me know if you have any thoughts on how I should or how I could try to capture at least some of this move because I think this is the meat of the move here and not really this. Um, yeah, some initial thoughts that I have is maybe just, taking profits obviously at here, but then like trying to get into some micro contracts and catch the secondary move, riding the 9 MA or like the 5 MA, right? Um, but that's all in hindsight. Yeah, so still seeing if I could try to add this to my playbook. Not really sure though, but yeah.